Hi, it's Kara with Grains in Small Places, and I'm just stopping in here today to show you another sourdough cupcake recipe. Cupcake recipes have become a favorite in our family, so I wanted to share another flavor that we found that is really great. And it's perfect for St. Patrick's Day. It's a chocolate Andes mint sourdough cupcake, and it takes about 2 days to make it. So I'm going to show you what I do for the first night, and then the next day I'll show you what we do to get those started and ready to go. Friends, today I'm going to show you how I mix up these Andes mint cupcakes. So tonight's the night before. I went ahead and you saw me brew that tea earlier today. I'm going to put 1 cup of tea in with my flour. And you want to make sure that's not too hot, otherwise it could kill your sourdough starter. Then I'm going to put in 1/2 cup of olive oil. I like to use this extra light tasting olive oil. It doesn't have a super strong flavor. And then I'm going to grab bubbles. Grab a spoon real quick. And I'm going to use about 1/2 cup of our sourdough starter. Set that aside here. And then after that, I will go ahead and feed him, and that way he will be ready to use in a future recipe. Give or take. And you can see I really don't have a lot left, just some scrapings, but that's all it takes to go ahead and feed him for the next time. And I'm going to just plop him on in there with the rest of the ingredients and give that a stir. And I want to stir it so that there's no dry flour left and so that the sourdough starter is all incorporated. And then I will cover this for the evening, and then I will show you tomorrow how we end up making this. So like I said, I'm going to cover it, and then I'm going to let this sit on my counter overnight at room temperature until tomorrow, and then I'll show you tomorrow what it looks like. Okay, so these are all the ingredients we're going to be using today, and this is the sourdough mixture that we mixed up last night. So to this mixture, we're going to add 2 eggs, and we actually went ahead and put in the mint extract and the vanilla in here. We're going to use 2 cups of brown sugar. One cup of whole milk. This is that Fairlife milk that we like to use. And then this is 1 teaspoon of salt and 3/4 cup of cocoa powder. And we're going to mix that around. And then the very last thing that we will add in is the baking soda. I want it to all be mixed to combine. I will go ahead and put a link to the printable recipe below down in the description box for you. Make sure that all the cocoa powder is all broken up. But we don't want to over mix it because that will make our cupcakes tough, but we do want to make sure that everything is all incorporated together. Okay. I think we're there. Then I'm going to add finally 2 teaspoons of baking soda. You want to make sure it's a fresh, good baking soda, because baking soda and baking powder do go bad, and then you don't get the reaction that you are looking for. In this case, the baking soda is going to react with our acid, and our acid is our sourdough starter. Once the baking soda is all in there, you will see it kind of rise up in the bowl, and then we're going to just grab our cupcake pan, and we have that lined. And we use these cute little green ones for St. Patrick's Day. I like to use my 1/4 cup mixing cup. And I'm just going to fill these. And while I'm doing this, I'm going to preheat my oven to 350 degrees. We're going to bake these for about 15 to 20 minutes at 350 degrees Fahrenheit. While I'm doing this, I'm noticing that there's a little bit of dry cocoa powder in there, so I probably should have sifted the cocoa powder, that way I wouldn't be so clumpy. So I guess we'll see how they turn out. This should give us about 36 cupcakes, so this will get filled and then we will have to let them cool for about 5 minutes after they're done baking, and then we will then we'll take them out and put them on a cooling rack, and then we will start the next round. So we just got back from the Charleston Tea Company, and they have a tea garden and a whole factory tour that you can take. And we went and took the tour and took the shuttle bus, and my parents actually met us there. It's in South Carolina, obviously, Charleston, South Carolina. And we found out that it is the only commercial tea maker in the United States. So I thought that was a pretty cool fact, but I'll go ahead and show you what we got. So we got some of the kinds of tea that they have grown right here in the US. And a little book here of some information, because you all know I love my research, and a cute little shirt. And this was actually a late Christmas gift from Grandma. But it says tea plus shirt. Answer on the back is t-shirt, Charleston Tea Garden. So thought that was pretty cool. So I'll show you all what we got and what we saw while we were there. While we were in Charleston, we also took a little haunted carriage ride, and that was really fun. And we followed my parents up the coast a little, just north to Myrtle Beach, and we checked out the little pirate dinner show theater, and that was really fun. And the food was actually really delicious. And then my parents continued on home, and my family stayed in the Myrtle Beach area, and we had to, of course, check out the beach at Myrtle Beach. The Harry Cody is getting buried, and he really struggled to get out of it. Oh, poor guy. Okay, so now it's time to make the buttercream, and I want to ice these beauties here. And this is my sourdough loaf that I've been working on. I hope to have that short and recipe out pretty soon. And don't forget to subscribe and click the little notification bell. That way you'll know what content I'm putting out next and when I'm putting that content out. So I'm trying something new today. We're going to try to color our Andes Mint cupcake frosting green, but I want to color it with a natural green food coloring rather than an artificial green food coloring. So we're going to try to use the matcha powder. I've not tried this before, so I guess you and I are going to find out together. So I found this matcha powder at Trader Joe's, so we went ahead and picked some up, and they have little individual packets like this. So I'm going to just try first with some room temperature water to take this packet, and I'm going to put, I believe the packet holds just a little less than a teaspoon, so I'm going to go ahead and put that in here, and it's probably going to end up being pretty dark, but I'm going to mix it in with our buttercream. But I want it to get started rehydrating. Gonna grab this and just give it a little stir. I've heard other people can use like spinach powder and a bunch of stuff like that, but I felt like this one was the least offensive for a cupcake frosting. So we're going to put these little Andes Mints on the top also to give them that cute little Andes look to them. So I'm gonna let this sit to the side. That way it will be hopefully mostly combined and ready to go. So I'm going to grab my mixer out here to make the buttercream. Alright, so we got that. And I'm going to get my whisking paddle. And last night we went ahead and got some butter out of the refrigerator. That way it was nice and soft for today. As you can see, that's pretty soft. And I have 4 sticks of butter. It's so soft that it's wanting to stick to the packages. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get those started beating. That happens pretty quick when it's softened. I just like to put a little pinch of salt in there to balance the sweetness. And I like to make my own homemade vanilla, and I have a new bottle that we made together back in October. Or maybe September, sometime. So it's not quite 6 months yet, but I'm pretty much out of my other stuff. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you how I reuse and repurpose that. So do about a teaspoon of vanilla, and I'm just gonna do a 1/4 of a teaspoon of mint extract in here. It's pretty strong. Maybe even a scant 1/4 of a teaspoon. You don't have to put the extract in there if it's not something that you want to be strong and minty. I'm going to go ahead and just give those two a mix around. Okay, and here comes the fun part. I'm just going to go ahead and pour maybe only half of this in. And we'll see what color we get from that, because I still have to add the powdered sugar. Okay, that kind of worked better than I expected, but let's go walk on the wild side and go ahead and put in the rest of this. So I did some research. If you pour just the powder in here without putting it in some water first, then you kind of get a speckly frosting. But if you mix it with a little bit of water, then it just gives you a more uniform coloring. I'm liking that. Let me just scrape the sides. Okay, now I'm going to add in my powdered sugar. And as you know, I don't do a great job measuring my powdered sugar. It's probably going to end up being 2 to 3 cups until I get the consistency that I like. Just get it out of the beater, that way I know it's all incorporated. And just give the sides a little scrape down. Okay, and I'm going to give it just a little taste. Okay, can use a little bit more sugar. It's not very sweet right now. I originally added about 2 cups. This is probably going to be about a 3 cup. But that mint is coming through, but it's not so overpowering. But it's not so overpowering strong that it tastes like toothpaste. Why did I do that? That's why you started on slow. This is a clean new spoon. Oh, that's perfect. Then we're just going to put it in our little baggie and start icing them once they cool down. just want to say thank you for taking time out of your day to check out my video, and I hope you enjoyed watching these sourdough chocolate cupcakes with Andes mints. I think they've really turned out pretty cute. Leave a comment down below if you think you might give these a try. Like and subscribe, and that way you'll know what content I'm putting out next. Don't forget to check out my blog with all of my recipes, including this one, at grainsandsmallplaces.net. Happy St. Patrick's Day, and thank you for stopping by Grains and Small Places. Goodbye.